Vibe Show 97.9. It's going down real exclusive on the weekend vibes. Y'all already know how we do it. We got another exclusive coming up. Y'all make sure y'all keep locked in.
Let's go. Let's go. New shit. Hey, yo, Bert. Hey, talk to him. Yeah, now tell me shit I feel so wrong for things I'm setting aside.
Vibe Show 97.9. Happy Sunday to everybody. We are back bringing you yet another exclusive. This one right here is long awaited, though. I mean, we tried to make this thing happen several times, and due to working conflicts, we finally got this thing going. I'm talking about the one and only multi-talented director, producer, the one and only, my friend, by the way, director Jess in the building.
Hey.
What's up, Jess?
What's up?
What's going on?
Thank you for having me.
Well, I mean, absolutely. I mean, we're finally making this thing happen.
I know it's been long awaited due to, my apologies, your scheduling conflicts. It's busy, pandemic, different things going on in our world, but we made it work.
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, we was gonna make it work. I mean, I had to have you on the show. I mean, you're doing so many different amazing things out here in this world. So thank you for me and the Vibe team.
And you guys are the media. You guys are the media outlets to get what we're doing out there. So we couldn't do without you as well. So thank you, and I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Now, let's start off because in the film world, which you are absolutely dominating in that field, I want to go back though a little bit just to give the fans and the listeners some just a little info on you or whatever. Has it always been filming and that space for you, or was it something that you were doing before you got into this career field?
Oh yes, it's definitely been a journey to this point. I started out as a model. Actually, before that, I was in college, and then I pretty much wanted to get into the entertainment industry when I was young, but my parents didn't want me to get involved.
Right.
So I turned 18. I was in college. I told my dad I wanted to get into the entertainment industry. I wanted to model. I wanted to act, and pretty much he was like, "Well, if you do that, you're on your own." And I took the chance, and I left school. I came back home to New York, and I pretty much I went into New York City just to get the vibe of things going on and see where I could tackle getting into the industry in New York, because that's where born and raised.
Yes.
So I ended up being scouted on the street one day, and it was just like one thing led to another, and I had a contract with Rockaware. I modeled for them. I was their model for like 10 years, and I started with them when I was very young.
Really?
Yes. That was one of my first clients.
That's probably where I've seen you at. Not sure.
I did, a lot of their online. Yeah, I did a lot of their online stuff, and pretty much they were. Jay-Z gave me my first opportunity. Is what it was pretty much. So
Jay-Z too for that.
Yes, exactly. Shout out to Jay-Z for that, for sure, because through that allowed me to meet a lot of other clients that ended up being my clients for a while as well. And it was the first door that was open, and it was a big door for me. So my career took off. I put myself in position, and God did the rest, So I think that's the biggest thing. What stands out about me is my faith, and that drives me and leads me and guides me. So, that's why I can tell you, even directing and producing, I didn't go to school for it. It was like, I got into modeling and acting. I was on billboards and commercials. Everything I entered, God allowed me to do top tier. I got into acting, commercials. I did comedy skits with Tracy Morgan. Um, a lot of what I was on Gossip Girl. I was like the first Black girl on Gossip Girl. That was the WB, and so it's just my modeling career led to acting. Acting led to me being on set and loving like everything, the creating and what went into making the scenes and the actors and the scripts. And then I wanted to learn. Like I was just like I'd be talking to the producers and the camera people, just like asking questions, and that's how I figured out. I'm like, man, I really like. Yes, I like being in front of the camera, but I really like the creativity of behind the camera. And um, I decided I wanted to get into directing and producing, and I started writing treatments for different artists for music videos before I was even directing and producing them. Those connections came through. I was previously assigned artist in a singing group.
What? Oh,
Yeah,
wait a minute now. Wait a minute now. Hold up now. We running past
yeah,
accolades here. So now you were actually in a group,
a singing group. Yes, I was in a singing group,
really?
and we had a lot. Loved them to death, but we didn't get along. We clashed a lot, so it kind of turned me off from the whole singing passion. And then that's when I started getting the modeling opportunities. And then I worked with Levi's, and then I was working on set with Alicia Keys. And for 8 years, I was working with her and traveling. And my career's been all over the place, pretty much. I've have writers credits for albums and people that are well known. I've writing, acting, modeling, all of that. I've done it all. So, and now I'm more focused on directing, producing, and just helping kids also get into the industry. And along the way, it wasn't even a goal of mine or a vision of mine. It was more of God led me. It's part of my purpose led, I guess. Me being in the industry allowed me to be led to my purpose. And I found that had to do with kids. And so I started along the way. I started helping kids with their careers, with castings, auditions, workshops, coaching, helping
Right.
them. Whether they needed acting, modeling, their parents needed guidance, they came to me, and that ended up building a business on its own, pretty much. And I still have that part where I help kids' talent with their careers, whether they be singers, actors, models. Coaching them, guiding them, placing them on radio or, TV, commercials. I have all those different connections through me working in the industry.
Right.
So that's probably why my journey started out with me first, so I can have an understanding of being a talent, working, what it takes, opening the doors, just like all those things allowed me to be a professional on the teaching side of being able to help others now do what I was doing.
Right, right. And you know what? That makes a lot of sense now. Tying that in, just hearing all of that, that makes a lot of sense because like online, you only see what you see, and you
Right.
think that just be the layer, but
Mhm.
really, it's many more layers to you that actually built up to the point that you're at right now. And
Exactly.
I think that's dope, though. That's
Thank
dope
you.
to have all to garner all of that experience, and then to take that and transform that into your own brand and be able to reach back out to those resources to actually channel and open up opportunities for other people as well. I commend you on
Right.
that.
Thank you. Thank you. And those other two opportunities still never geared away. Even now, I'm like getting offers for. I just did 2 film auditions this week. People just reaching out and wanted me to be a part of what get back in on the other side too. So I think, but it goes around to show you just the people who I know of that when even I was watching that end up being actors or even models or just doing multiple different things. The actors start directing, and I know a lot of people in our culture were actors and then they turned directors, or and still doing both, or directing, producing, and still starring in the things that they're doing.
Right. Right.
So it's been done before, and we've seen it done. So it just, I'm continuing on what other people have done before, you know?
Right. Absolutely. Now, I know the journey hasn't been easy. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? It is a lot of work because people, they only see the finished product on
Right.
certain things, and they feel like, oh, yeah, I want to do this. I want to direct movies. I want to direct videos. I want to do this and I want to do that. Till they actually doing it and see the
Hmm.
work
Right.
that really goes into it.
Right.
Can we talk about a little bit of the journey and maybe some of the difficulties that you may have faced that are obstacles that you had to overcome?
Well, that's one of the things, like what you just mentioned about the whole work ethic thing. People do not know what it takes. Like they see the finished product on TV, or when an artist releases a music video, or when you see something on theater, and it's like all of the things that go behind the location scouting, the planning, building a team, people working together, putting the scripts together, or if you're working a music video, putting the treatment together beforehand to submit to the artist to see if they like it,
Right.
like the treatment that goes along with the song. And then once that's approved, then it's like, yes, it's the location scouting, it's the putting together the props, it's like all those things to just like go along with the creative process.
Right.
Um, I would say my biggest obstacle has been being a woman in this industry.
Right. Which I was going to ask you about
Then
that.
it's being an attractive woman is the next layer.
Which I was going to ask you about that
And
too.
then it's being a black woman, the next layer, or
Which
ethnic
I was
woman.
going to ask you
Like,
about that too.
like, yeah. So it's like there's the layers of, it being a man's world or run industry, and then the men letting the women in, actually, to even look at them or respect them for their creativity, and put the ego
Right.
aside, that they can work alongside this person, as opposed to like, oh, you're a woman, you're not supposed to be a director, producer, this or that. So I would say I had to create my own lanes every time. It was never given to me. I had to create my own lane, and that's fine.
Right. 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 Yeah, because I was gonna ask you, like, you know, in the music industry, you're dealing with a lot of egos and all this stuff or whatever. And, upon being hired to do a job or whatever, have you, ever ran into any of those egos when you're trying to direct traffic and get things together and you have a vision for the way that it need to be, but the ego with the artist gets in the way of the creativity.
Never the artist.
Okay.
Excuse me. Um, it's never the. I've never had any issues with artists. They've always let me, hired me and trusted me to say, I trusted you to do this job, so I'll give you the floor to do it. They, it's it becomes when it's other directors and producers, and they're seeing you book jobs, and they're seeing you work with artists and over them, and they see you entering a certain area where they've been, and it's more so like the egos come from it being a very competitive field. It's competitive for the men. So especially if they see a woman coming up and
Right.
competitive with her too, it's even more of an ego. It's a threatening thing. And I noticed like some beforehand, before I started directing, when I was on the side of the talent, when I was in people's commercials or in their
Mm.
films and stuff like that, it was more, I had way more friends that were directors and producers. And then when I hit on the other side, it's like people started acting funny, so where it's like, oh, but, it happens. You just got to keep going, and who will support you, and who won't. And either way, it doesn't matter.
Right. When it comes down to the technical aspect of it, would you say you garnered that knowledge like along the way as far as being on the sets and seeing what camera is for what or whatever, and take that to be able to get your own equipment when you started to go into your own space?
Yes. I have my own equipment, my own team. When whatever the artist needs, depending on if it's a daytime shoot, a nighttime shoot, or you know, I use different cameras for different shoots, and depending on if you're doing a music video or like I'm shooting a commercial, I'm directing and producing a commercial next Sunday, and it's for a shoe brand. So I'm not just in the music video lane. I do commercials, and I'm working on film projects. And I sold 2 shows. I sold 2 documentaries. So
Congratulations on that.
thank you. And we've got more coming.
Well,
So
yeah.
um, yeah, I mean, I know, yes, I know all the technical stuff, what I need, what we need when me and my team go to work on set.
Right. So, as you know, because was the transition difficult for you with coming off the artist side of it, the modeling side of it, and
Hmm.
the commercial side of it? Was the transition difficult for you to go from being in front of the lens to being behind the lens?
Um, the transition was difficult because, yeah, because I was switching from like I said, it was like when I was the talent, it was I feel like I had a wider network of people and support. Like then I felt like when I went on the other side, it was like people became more competitive. And but I don't know.
Just for you personally, like not just for you mentally making the transition from being the one, taking the pictures and as opposed
Right.
to like, I got to get all of this together.
Honestly, well, honestly, like I still incorporate both sides. I still feel both sides.
Mm,
I still live both sides, to be honest, because
right,
I get called for. I know that directing and producing right now is on the forefront, but when I get called for things and modeling stuff, I still, I have one company is a surf line, and they want me to come out to Hawaii and like learn to train surfing for 2 weeks, and they want me to be their brand ambassador for their surf line, and it's like swimsuits and different things like that. So it's all still intertwined. I still get offers, and I just put that to the side for a little bit because I was focused on building my resume with directing and producing, because you need to like put a certain amount of focus to get to a point where you really I need to put a certain amount of focus to get to a point where I feel comfortable, and then it can run on its own, and then I can now swing back around to adding other things because
right,
I have more time, because now I built it to the point where it can fairly run on its own, and I can just maintain it as opposed to building it.
right.
Hmm.
As a woman in this male dominated industry that we're in, what have there been any challenges that you may have faced? Because, like you said, being a woman,
Hmm.
being a beautiful woman, tack
Hmm.
that on.
Hmm.
It brings a lot of different, attention energy there.
Hmm.
Um, have you ever ran into any obstacles or whatever, just for anybody else that's inspiring to travel down the same lane that you're traveled down or whatever, just for things to watch out for and things of that nature?
Um, mhm. I'd say I think, the biggest advice I could probably give people is to follow, like, listen to your heart, but follow like your gut, and like read the energy and pay attention to that. Like, your heart will guide you. Yes, it'll lead you, but it won't always make the best decisions for you, right? But
Right,
then you pay attention to how you feel connection with that guidance, then that can let you lead to right decisions. Because I know for me, my energy has led me to work with people, like whether I pay attention to what's the feeling of it? Like, it's like, and I don't know if everybody has this, so I don't know if this is like a general advice I can give everybody, but I know for me, it's, I've turned down a lot of stuff if the energy didn't feel right or if the people weren't on the same page as me, frequency as me, whatever you want to call it, vibe as me, whatever, you know. So um, it's never led me in the wrong direction. It's
Right.
always led me in the right direction. And I think I ran into, yes, I've had, there's been plenty of people, mostly men, have tried to get in the way of my career,
Right.
meaning we offer her opportunity, and if we're attracted to her, you know, and she doesn't reciprocate, then we take it away, you know. So I would never want,
So that does exist in the industry. To
oh yes,
confirm that.
I would never want my daughters to go through that. I would never want anybody else's daughters to go through that. And that's what sometimes I look at people and it's like they have daughters or this or that, and they're making these decisions, and karma's she barks on truth. Stop it. Go sit. I think like we're all supposed to connect for a reason with who you connect with, and sometimes you just have to figure out what it is. And sometimes it's business, sometimes it's friendship, sometimes it's more. And it's up to us to pay attention and figure that out, and not make it more than what it's supposed to be. So, and that's all faith led with me, you know, like so. It could be $100,000 deal on the table. I've turned it down just because it wasn't the right position for me. It wasn't the
Right.
right setup for me, or someone wanted to dangle that in my face and take it away if it wasn't something else, you know. So I can proudly say like I've never done anything, you know, that like if there was something that was put on the table for me to say like, okay, Jessica, we want to give you this opportunity. Then as we're meeting and you know, there's, you know, I've never put myself in a position. I've always turned it down. It would be like, okay, like my career and the things that are for me are gonna be. It's not gonna be that. Like it's gonna be like
Right. Right.
it's not gonna be that. Like it's gonna be. I'm gonna feel good. It's gonna be for me in a way where someone is offering me the opportunity because they solely believe in me and see who I am. You know, and so I've definitely made a lot of people mad in those decisions, and but I can stand proudly in this industry with my respect, and I think that's what allows a lot of even parents to respect me and stuff because they see the way that I move and my rawness, my transparency, like who I am, like my vibe is real and raw. Like so it's like you either like me or you don't, because I got into entrepreneurship because I wanted to be me. I didn't, if I wanted to be somebody else, if I wanted to follow, like it's nothing wrong with that. You know, some people that's for them, like, you know, where, you know, some people
You gotta have some good sheep too. Now, I mean, everybody
yeah,
can. You know what I'm
yes, we
saying?
need our doctors, no, and they're not. It's not even so. Like we need our doctors, our lawyers, and people in positions that for there. And then there are people who are more comfortable working for companies because they don't really want to waste their energy thinking outside the box for about something else. It's like work is not that important to them. You know, everybody's importance levels are different for different things. Mine happens to be within my purpose and work and entrepreneurship and stuff. So like, which takes more out of me. Yes. Some days I'm tired, some day, that takes a lot more out of you when you're building something and running something, maintaining something and growing something. So
Right.
it is a different level of perseverance, resilience, and strength and all that. That's to be real and honest. And I think people like my honesty in the process, like so, and especially as you're building something, it's not all, and that's what I show. It's not all like, sometimes it's not like there's your seasons. Like I was telling my friend today, there's your seasons where you're growing, you're learning, and you're building, and sometimes you're alone, so like where you're figuring things out, and I've had to sacrifice family time, you know, people who I'm really connected to, whether it be family, friends that can't go with me, so like I've had to do a lot of stuff, make a lot of hard decisions to get into the position that I am. So the position that I am is not made for everybody. Everybody can't make those hard decisions. But if you can, you definitely reach higher levels of certain things that you want, because if the more attached you are to things that are holding you back, you will only be able to reach a certain level.
Right.
So I'm here to reach the highest levels possible and to encounter people who want to be here and do the same thing. And that's who I'm supposed to help. That's
Right.
why I have to solely be me, because that'll allow me to attract what my purpose is and who's supposed to be connected to that.
Right. Absolutely. What's like the process? Let's talk about like the process for anybody that may be inquiring to book director Jess for a project or something like that. Like what's the process that a person would have to go through in order to make that happen?
Well, there's multiple ways. There's my website. People contact me through my website, jessproduction.com, or through my Instagram, which people follow and they can see my work. My work is also my website. Um, those are the two main ways that people connect with me, unless they directly know me or through somebody else. But they can definitely follow me on Instagram at Gorgeous Moultrie, and or go to my website, justproduction.com, and connect with me there to whether they want to inquire or book me.
So they would go there. Let's just say they go to the website or they go wherever they can connect with you at. They is it like a form or something like that that you have to fill out or whatever, just inquiring about
Yeah,
explaining what
there's
you
a contact form on there where they would fill out, and then it would go to my email.
okay, and then you'll get back with them in a timely fashion or is it
Yes,
sit in the queue for a
my
minute.
assistant, like I have an assistant who checks my email, so she would get back to them. Yes.
Okay, okay, perfect. So now that's for people who are trying to do some business now. You know
Hmm.
that's how you connect. Let's be clear. You know how it is right now. Um, with COVID,
Hmm.
when COVID hit, that had to be a difficult time in a way, being in the business that you're in, with physical interactions with people and stuff like that. What were some of the challenges with that and some of the adjustments that was made in order to keep the brand, I'm sorry, sustained?
Um, phew. To be honest, I'm gonna be real with you. I was just talking about this in a meeting. Like, I was blessed through COVID, to be honest.
Mm.
Um, in my field, people still wanted to create,
Right,
so we've been creating and moving. So I haven't had to make I haven't had to make any adjustments, to be honest. It was almost like I was prepared for what was to come.
right,
So, and it's hard. I know it's like because a lot of it's like, yeah, like I would this industry. It's like it just they changed the way they did things, moved things more online, and for a little while, I know TV and film was shut down, but the music video world was still moving.
right. With precautions and mask and different things
Yeah,
you put in
exactly.
position or whatever, might have to can't have a crowd of people around
Yeah.
watching.
Well, yeah, we had our masks on. Yes. Besides the standard things that precautions that people had to take. Yes, there's the mask. You're correct. And oh, I would say castings too. Like we had to. I had to book larger spaces so that we can spread out more. Um, just those minor things, but I think I didn't really look at those things because like I feel just minor adjustments. Yes,
Right,
minor
right.
adjustments. Mm-hmm.
Got you. So now with let's talk about support for a minute here. You know, it kind of ties in with a little bit of what we was talking about earlier or whatever. But from a support aspect of it, from your experience, well, we just is it just safe to say that it's primarily jealousy when it comes down to not having the type of support that would have been expected with would you say it's difficult for people to just be happy for people in this space that we're living in right now, like just to get your theory on it from experience.
Yes, I think that I don't think it's just that just in this space that we're in. I think in general, it's hard for people to be happy for people who a lot of people it's like I guess when people are unhappy with somebody when people are unhappy at somebody that they do not know,
Hmm.
I think it's just a reflection of them and where they want their life at or something like that. And it's just like or something that they I don't know if it could be anything. It could be whether looks or position the person's in, whatever that person is feeling, that's a reflection of why that person is not liking that person. It's because they actually like something that's in them, but it's a reflection of where they are not
Right,
or what they don't have. And then they're taking it in a negative way, as opposed to seeing how they can change that.
right. I mean that makes sense. I just wanted to hear your thoughts on it or
But
whatever.
I definitely
Tell me this.
definitely there between where it would be like deal with it with the women, and it's like for me, like I'm the easiest person to get along with. You know what I mean? Like so for me, I love I receive people, but I don't. I let people show me who they are, and
Mm,
then that's when I position them.
right.
Hmm.
Tell me this. As a woman, again, in this game,
Hmm.
you know, um, juggling so many different hats,
Hmm.
you know,
Literally.
um, yeah, exactly. Exactly. How, I mean, has, you know, getting in a position to where you can have an assistant or have help or, I know you haven't always had that.
No.
Um,
And
you
even
know,
now, I just let my assistant do simple things. It's more of check emails, and I do handle everything else still. But like, as far as emails are coming through, even when I'm working, so I need someone to be there to like filter that, and then I go over them and stuff like that. So um, I'm still at a level where I'm still building a team where or looking for I'm building a team and waiting for the right people to come into place. But so even still now, it's more so like, if I'm director producer, then I have the other people that my camera guy, my lighting person, those things like the people who add to my sets, you
right,
know?
right,
And then my assistant now, she helps me filter emails and stuff like that. Or when I'm on set, she can answer the phone and, if it's another job calling, so I'm not missing a job, you know. But other than that, I'm still in the main position of building my, and I think it's because I keep myself there. To be honest, like you
right.
know, until I haven't felt like it's right to let go of it at a certain point yet, and I think that that just comes with time or me meeting the right people, person, or maybe my husband. I don't know. When I have one, like I don't know when that's
I'm
gonna
like
be.
that. I'm like that too, though. It's difficult because I'm so passionate about my brand and
Right.
I know the work that has been put in to build it and get it to where it is. And I am involved in every aspect of
Hmm.
everything or whatever, which, I have my VP, Jacqueline,
Hmm.
who it was very hard for me to let go of things to allow her to be able to handle. Oh, and shout out to Jacqueline too. She's on the live.
Hi, Jacqueline.
Um, it was difficult for me to do that, and
Hmm.
but I had to get in a place because I am one person,
Right.
and much as I'm passionate about it, it takes a team to build an empire,
Hmm.
and I do understand
And
that.
have to build it, hold it, maintain it, grow it, all
Yes,
that.
yes, yes. I
Mhm.
just feel like it's got to be people that's as passionate about the brand as I
That's,
am.
I say that all the time. I say that. I'm like, it's going to come when I meet the people that, because I said, I was saying today in a meeting, I'm like, you can meet people all day that can work for you, right? But then
Right.
there's a difference between someone that can just work for you and then like someone who's actually passionate about what you're doing too. And there's a different work ethic and creativity in that.
Facts. Facts. Definitely that. Some of your influences, some of your inspirations as far as behind the camera or whatever. Can we talk about some of the directors or producers that have inspired you or motivated you, or that you would like to maybe work with or have worked with already?
I can speak on. I would love to collaborate with people either as like either me directing or producing or vice versa, them doing that. I don't specifically have in mind who yet. um, I actually have some artists, but I can't name the names that we're going to be doing some films coming up. They have some ideas, and um, we'll be collaborating on me bringing their story to life in films and stuff like that. But I don't really have anybody that's like, and that's just, it's probably me and my personality. It's kind of like I didn't grow up with like a favorite artist. It's just I just listened to music that I connected to, whether it be country, this, that, whatever. It was like whoever. It didn't really matter who was actually singing it. You know what I mean? It was just me connecting to it. Like I connect with. It's like I was. I think it's just I let my soul lead me. So it's not really the image, person, or face that's there. So um in transparency, I don't have anybody that I can think of that I would want to collaborate with. I just am so excited to get my own creativity out there.
Right.
And I think it's just because I've worked hard for the position that I'm in and I'm just ready to like create and lead my own stuff right now. And then I think once I do that, it'll open my other side, that other side will come out where it's like, okay, I'm ready to collaborate with people and
Right.
do that. But as far as I can direct a project and I want to either lead in some way in my own creativity right now, I'm not opposed to collaborating with people or bringing out other people's visions as I do with music videos, or I can do with TV shows, or I can do with a film. I can write scripts. I do it with music. I write with artists. And bring help bring their visions to life in their songs. So I think right now in the space that I'm in the season that I'm in, I want to see Jessica's creativity come out, and
Right.
then once I have that and I see that, I can see what that looks like with other people's creativity.
Got you. When working with artists, usually like what's the preferred space with you, like as far as when creating these treatments and the visions? Is it the or do you take the artist's music and you listen to it for a day or two, zone out and let the vision organically come, or the artist like, hey, look, I want to be on this mountain and then I want to I want the a line behind me. Can you bring that to life? Like, how does that work? Like how do you create?
Um. Okay. So I'll just give you an example. It's so different because sometimes artists, I only have 24 hours. Literally, they'll send me a song and I'll have like an hour to listen to it, and then I guess send a treatment back and then plan the video in between the next day or two. So uh, I'm really okay. So I'm really good at an artist. A song can be played, the visuals automatically can come out, and then it comes out fast. I'm lucky that that happens because this
Right.
industry is like, it's not just like some, they don't give you like a week, or sometimes literally it's like, we're calling you, send you the song, send the treatment back in an hour. And
Right.
like, to wait till for their approval, and then to, once you get the approval, then you can location scout, figure out, and then I've been able to do music videos in like Thailand and like Miami, LA, New York, Jamaica, like just different places. And excuse me. Um, my career is allowing me to, I love that it's allowing me to be able to travel and create, you know, because I love traveling. And so I'm able to create in a space that caters to my personality and my characteristics of who I am. And
Right.
I think that's truly important to me. And I think that's who my soul speaks to, free spirited people who want to live in a world where they can create what they want to create and make a living and help other people do the same thing.
Right. Let me ask you this. Let's just say, for example, um, you got an artist that's just dope and amazing, right? Let's just say we got an
Mm-hmm.
artist. Actually, I'm gonna use this artist's name. We actually have this artist on the live right now enjoying this interview. Said he loved this interview. She's beautiful. That's Young D. Phenomenal artist, a major talent.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Amazing. Let's just say this artist doesn't have a crazy budget. Um, are there small director just packages, or we have leveled up to a tier to where we just got to get the
Yeah.
bag up there?
Yeah, no, literally the packages are dependent on what the artist wants. Like, you know, so sometimes they don't want like, okay, so it can be an artist that says, hey, I want this to have this budget. We want this many cars, this huge house, this, that, whatever. So like it really depends on the needs. And then there's some artists that want to shoot a video outside in the park, you know, or just outside period. And I come up with outside locations. So yes, there's smaller packages that as long as the artist needs fit within that package.
Right. And now we're talking locations, we're talking props, we're talking different things or whatever. Okay. Now I'm sure within these packages or whatever, if some travel is involved as well. Hey, look, I want to book director Jess. I'm in Louisiana.
Mm-hmm.
I want to shoot it here.
Mm-hmm.
So
So
that
then they
would be,
have to cover my travel costs.
got you. Okay, I'm just
Yes.
trying to put that info out there, whatever, just so we
Yes.
can
So
be
like if
clear.
there's
We gotta
any
be clear.
travel involved, like my travel always is included. And then sometimes we hire a local crew. So like, or sometimes they're like, you know, we want your team that you normally work with. So like they'll pay for my team too. But if it's just me and then I have to find a local crew, I'm open to that too. Um,
Is that adds on to the price of you having to research and get the local crew as well?
um, no, I mean not so much. Like sometimes the people they know they have their own local people and they just want me to come in direct and produce, and then they have their own camera people. So
Okay.
it depends really on what I'm doing. It's like, does the person have their own camera person? I'm just coming in to direct and produce it. And because the camera person is really doing, the camera person is doing what the director and producer wants them to do, unless the camera person is the director and producer and the camera person.
Okay.
But I, the director and producer normally has a DP, which is a director of photography, because they're just getting directed with what the visual is from the director and the producer.
Right.
So if they have, it depends on if the person has a person there that they can, or if I'm doing the research. Yes, you know, if I have to do the research to find the crew and all that stuff,
Right.
it's a little bit more.
Yeah, the bag gets a little bit more bigger at that point. Let's be clear. So now let me ask you this: um, what's been the craziest? Shout out to Roman Stewart and Young D and Jacqueline on the check-in. What's been the craziest
Hello, guys.
craziest video that you've ever created, or maybe somebody had this vision and you just was just like, this is crazy.
Like I said, the for so far I've been able to create the visuals for my like
Mhm.
people just come to me, they send the song, and then I put everything together. And the most, I think the turnaround that the quickest turnaround and everything that we had to do was when we had to do the video when we were doing the video in Thailand. Because at first it was like we were gonna do shoot it in New York in Chinatown to make it look like we were in China,
Right.
and then it was like the manager was like, "Well, we have it in budget to just go to to just go get the look we want and go to like Thailand or China," and then China ended up having some protesting that was going on, so we couldn't do it there. So then Thailand was like the other option. That's when we went there.
Uh, I
Hmm.
know that experience was pretty dope, huh? To be able to get that experience.
It was interesting. It was a lot of. It wasn't my crew that went. It was me going to produce, and so it was a lot of arguing and fighting between people there. To be honest.
Did you understand the language? I mean, it's a
Yes, yes. I'm not talking about the people in Thailand were nice. I'm talking
oh,
about
okay.
the crew that we went with to do the project. It was just a disaster. Everybody argued and everything the whole time. But it was,
It
it
was
was
what it was.
it was what it was. Yes. I
Does
gotta
it
think to go back to Thailand and get a whole new trip there.
right, right. Does it ever get because like we're talking about a director's world, and it's just so amazing to me because it's just hate in every field. It's just this different types of hate. Just hearing that, you on the other side of the lens, it was love, and everybody loves you. And then when you step into the space and you're behind the camera and you're creating your brand and your brand is flourishing and doors are opening, and it's not so much love.
Hmm.
Um, Social media, utilizing social media within the infrastructure of your platform or whatever, how beneficial has that been for you? I know on the level of being able to display the artwork and display the pieces that you're putting out there and creating or whatever. But has it really been really effective for you, or the
Yes.
website is more or it all intertwines?
Um, for a while I wasn't on social media, so like I definitely can say when I got on social media, it just allows you to be able to network with people that you wouldn't. First of all, I'm an introverted person naturally, so social media allows me to be able to book jobs and connect with people without actually stepping outside the door. So anything that allows me to do that, hooray.
Mm,
And
mm.
it definitely allows me to do that. People to see my work and connect with me and say, "Hey, I want to work with you."
Right, right, right.
Mhm.
Definitely that. Definitely that. Most definitely. Now, I gotta ask you this. Um, Now, we've been trying to make this thing happen for a while now, and you're super busy. I'm super busy. All of this stuff or whatever. The projects. Let's talk about the project that you have coming up, and if you can even talk about the projects that you have that we can look forward to.
Okay, so yes, in this world, we can't pre-talk about projects that, well, I can't say the names before it comes out. But yes, I have projects coming up, whether it be castings for kids, for TV shows. Well, I get castings all the time for like TV shows, print ads, commercials, all that stuff for kids talent and adult talent. So that business is growing, thank God. Um, that business is always going to grow because the industry always needs talent.
Right.
I
Absolutely.
have the directing and producing side. It's like it grows through the more I create, continuing and going and creating, then, people see. I think people respect hustle and they respect you when you respect yourself, right? So like whether something is like I can we can come to somebody with something and you're like, and if you don't believe in yourself, meaning like whether this person says yes or no and you're gonna keep going or not, like that's gonna determine whether people respect you in the industry or not, or whatever industry you're in. Because and I don't know if I'm probably gearing off the question, more so of what you're asking, but I think that what allows my brand, if I can say one thing that allows my brand to continue to grow and people be attracted to it, because honestly, plenty of people can come along and like it's like you can copy someone's style, everything that they do, but it's like if you're not really putting in your uniqueness and your hustle to it and developing your own brand,
Right. People
you're
can
not
feel
gonna,
that.
huh?
People can
Yeah,
feel that.
exactly. They can like people can sense like I always say the phrase the truth always transcends illusion.
Right.
Like so it's like people can pretend and it's like there's so like yeah, there's so many pretenders on like there's people it's like you could be thinking someone has has a whole online boutique making their clothes, this and that, and
Right.
that person is going to the store, getting those clothes, putting it on, and just reselling it online. Somebody else is making those clothes. Somebody else is going through that whole process of
Yes.
putting it together, and they're putting it on. Like that's the thing. Social media has allowed also door open for people to see a lot of facades, like to be able to make things look real. So
Right.
I try to show as much of my life as possible, the behind the scenes, the grind, like the working with the kids, the castings,
I
because
love you do that
all
too,
the
by the
different
way.
steps to show, huh?
I love you do that too, by the way, because it allows me to come into your world and actually see the work being done. Like I think that's super dope that
Thank
you
you.
do that.
Thank you. Thank you. And that's exactly what I'm trying to connect is like, I'm a real person in real life. And it was more so like, how can I transition my realness onto social media without it taking away so much from my life? Because I also like to keep my focus on my life and not post on like some days I'll go a week or whatever without posting because I'm indulged in my life and I love to be a person that lives in the moment and enjoys what's going on too. So it's like finding the balance between that, showing your realness and your authenticity, but like not getting too caught up in the social media world. And
Right.
it's where I find my balance. And it really is just like showing the process of what I'm doing from the castings to the location scouting for jobs, casting the kids who actually book and them actually working on set, like just showing like all of it. Like this is what I'm doing and I'm really doing it. They're really doing it. You see them doing it. You see them on radio. You
Right.
see them on TV. You see them in the print ads. Like nothing I'm doing is or what I'm talking is fake because I'm actually showing what I'm doing. So I try to do that as much as I can on my social media without it actually taking over my life because I think that at the end of the day, people, yes, you can sense, you can keep up, the facade with so far, but like, it's like people will follow you in longevity when they see the realness and the longevity in it. Like, okay, she's really doing it. Okay, she's been doing it for a long time, and they see the growth.
Right.
Mhm.
Um, what's one thing that you could say that you're most proud of?
Being able to say that I booked over 1,000 talent on gigs in the industry. So it's not so much of, yes, I thank God for all the doors God opened for me to do, whether it be commercials and stuff like that. But that led me to help other people do what I did. And that means way more to me than me doing what I did, which is probably why I went to director producer as opposed
Right.
to being a talent.
Right. Um, man, this is just I really enjoy talking to you though because I think that you it's amazing what you do, especially with those kids. I think creating those opportunities because there's so many amazing, talented kids out there, and for you to be so tapped in to having that passion for them, because we need that. You know, it's a
Mhm.
lot of lost souls out there who may have talent, and
Mhm.
you're working with so many. I'm just, if anybody that's following you could actually see the kids that you're working, the doors that's being opened or whatever. So I just really commend you on the work that you're putting in on a daily basis all the way
Thank
around the board,
you. Thank
literally.
you so much. I'm super grateful to be in the position because, like I said, it's one thing doing it yourself, and it's a whole other feeling seeing like people that you're helping and seeing them grow or seeing them smile like when they're talking on radio or they're on TV and they're doing something that they love, and that brings joy to my heart more than me actually working.
Right. If you
Mhm.
could change one thing in the field that you're in, or you might not, change anything, but if you could change one thing in the entertainment business, um, that you've experienced from start to this point in your life right now, is if you can change one thing, what would that be?
It would be men in the industry being able to look at women for who they are and what they could bring to the table
Mm,
creatively without any other eyes to it, because then they would appreciate us for what we can bring to the table, and they would allow more doors to be open for us as opposed to closing them for us. Because when I see a door close on me because I'm not willing to do something for a position, every one of those other little girls that I'm helping in this industry come up, I'm looking at them being going to have to go through the same thing. If my daughter is going to get into the industry, I'm looking at her going to have to go through the same thing, and that breaks my heart. So I think that I can handle it. I've handled it, and I've kept pushing and going. But if I could avoid them not doing that to us,
right,
and men looking at us as equal as they would look at another guy to create with,
right.
I think that we could all build much faster, especially within our culture, because we need it.
Facts. We definitely need it. I just once again, I'm just proud of you. Like, every time I think about it and I look at all of the progression, and now being able to connect the dots with, having the backstory connected on to, when I was introduced into your world up until this point. I just think that it's super dope that I can tie it all in, and like, yo, it's bigger than just director Jess. You know what I mean? It's the motto. It's you've done so many and worked with so many different amazing people, and just to see the way your brand is standing up and how you're flourishing with all these different amazing opportunities, that's just so deserving because the work has actually been put in. So again, I'm proud of you, literally.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank
So
you. I appreciate you guys for being an outlet to be able to give me a platform to be able to tell my story, which also helps other people as well. So one seed planted is a domino effect for other seeds being planted and to be able to help other people.
absolutely. Before we get out of here, is there any other words of encouragement that you can drop on anybody that may be low in spirits might be low, might was thinking about being a model and just it didn't work out, or they thinking about giving up, or they wanted to be a director, or are they thinking about getting into that space, or just maybe low in spirit, period.
Mhm.
Any words from director Jess that you could drop on them to possibly lift the spirit up?
Okay. I'd say that everything that they want is on the other side of that fear.
Mm,
So when you're feeling in those low moments, in the low spirits, it's that moment that you're tested, that you need to kick in that faith that you say that you have to get to the other side. And that's when another door will open.
mm.
Because To be honest, it's not made for everybody. If it was made for everybody, then everybody can have it. You wouldn't have the one percenters who are truly happy doing what they love in the world, successful. And I mean, like, success to me is fulfillment and happiness, not just money, but like, or material things. Success to me is like someone being truly fulfilled and happy with what they're doing, right?
Facts.
So if you are trying to separate yourself from the rest of the world who is like run by the world, we got to create our own world in this world. And the only way to do that is to take charge in your world. So it's there. It's been done before us and before us and before us and before us many times. So it's not like to say that anything that any of us want to do can't be done. It's
Right.
stated in your heart that so that you have the desire, but it's your start, quit, go, quit, and then stop. So people
Right.
keep going. So like there's levels to it all. And it's like you got to really know yourself. Like, what level are you at? What are you capable of? What do you really want? And is it realistic to what you can actually do?
Wow. Tess, that's deep. That's deep. So now, we got to get you back on here again. You already know that we gonna figure it out. We gonna figure it out with you, because you know how it is with the we go schedules and all of these things or whatever. So, but I want to thank you from the bottom of my
I'm
heart,
in my bedroom right now.
from me and the Vibe team. We want to say thank you so much for this amazing opportunity to be able to bring us in your world, and we cannot wait to get you back on the show again. And we're wishing you more blessings and more success.
Thank you so much. I wish you guys blessings. I wish the listeners blessings. Everybody just keep chasing your dreams, following that good energy. Cut off whoever doesn't support you because they're only holding you back or they're in your way. And we have no time for people to be in our way or holding us back. We're only going up from here.
Amen. Amen. Y'all heard it right there from my friend, the one and only director.
Thank you. I appreciate you so much. Thank you.
Absolutely. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. It's the Vibe Show 97.9 with my special guest, the one and only director Jess. We're going to give some shout outs real quick before we get out of here. I've seen a couple people on the chat. Shout out to Jacqueline Yvette Public Relations. Shout out to Roman Stewart. Shout out to Vibe Show Young D. Shout out to everybody else that was on the live, showing my special guest so much love. We thank y'all so much. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all Sunday. Have a blessed rest of the day. If you are new to this channel, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button and turn on those notifications for more exclusive Vibe Show 97.9, where we only bring nothing but the hottest guests on the planet. Me and director Jess, we out of here. We love y'all. Y'all be safe.
Let's go! Let's go! New shit. Hey, yo, Bert. Hey, talk to him. Yeah.